So, in the last class, we talked about some optimizers. We talked in details about gradient descent and the different types of gradient descent, namely batch gradient descent, stochastic gradient descent, and mini batch gradient descent. We came across the term momentum and we explained in details all the problems about these gradient descents and how we can overcome them. So, now let us look into some other optimizers. So let us start with Adagrad. If you remember the equation of gradient descent, it was more like this, right? So the main idea behind Adagrad was, what if we change, instead of changing the gradient descents at all times, what if we somehow come with a method that can change the learning rate? So we need to change the learning rate with every epoch or iteration. So what that means is, let us first look into this graph. So this is a graph of loss versus weights. Let's suppose we calculated and our loss is somewhere here. So in the initial stages we can take bigger steps, but as we come closer to the minima we can slow down the learning rate and take smaller steps which keep on decreasing every time. So we can finally converge to the minimum loss. This was the main idea behind Adagrad, to change learning rate with every epoch so that if it gets closer to the minima, it decreases itself. So we don't have to change the learning rate every time. So what is the formula behind this? So we have Wt equal to Wt minus 1 minus eta dash times of Gt. So what is eta dash? Eta dash is eta times, that is the learning rate that we will take, alpha t minus 1 plus epsilon. And now what is alpha t minus 1? It is basically the summation of all gradients from I equal to 1 to t minus 1. So if we have the graph here, every time that we are going down, so for the next one it will take all the gradients that it had calculated before and it will square the sum of all of those. So what that means is, for the next point that we will be calculating, it will take the gradients of all the previous points, it will square each of those up and sum that all up. So think about this. For every time that we are going down, we are getting a new gradient, or for the every next iteration, we are getting a new gradient. So that means this whole thing increases, because this is basically the sum of all the squares of the gradients, right? If the gradients increase, this has to increase. That means alpha t minus 1 is increasing. So since alpha t minus 1 here is in the denominator, so if this increases, this whole function keeps on decreasing. That means eta dash decreases. Here eta dash decreases. That means for every new iteration, or for every iteration which brings us closer to the minimum loss, this keeps on decreasing. So in short, we can say, if we have this, we are taking bigger steps here, and as we are going here closer, this is going on decreasing, decreasing and decreasing, right? So this is the whole idea behind Adagrad. So there was one problem though with Adagrad. What was that problem is, since alpha t minus 1 is sum of all the gradient squares, the problem is this increases very quickly since this is a square of everything. If this increases very quickly, that means this will increase very quickly. Hence, this eta dash will decrease very quickly and very fast. So let us say this was our equation. So if this increases very quickly, eta dash will decrease very quickly. So there might be a point of time where eta dash comes close to 0 because it is very, very low. It keeps on decreasing very fast and becomes very low. So if this is not even 0, if this is even close to 0, our weights will be quite similar to each other. So Wt at any iteration will be quite equal to Wt minus 1. If our weights are not getting updated, that means we might not reach to the minimum value of the loss. So this was one problem with adder grad. So that brings us to the next part, adder delta. So the idea behind adder delta is the same, but it tries to solve this problem of optimizing the weights so that we can keep it in control. Our learning rate does not decrease very fast. Our learning rate does not decrease very quickly. So what is the formula behind adder delta? So we have Wt equal to Wt minus 1 minus eta dash times of Gt. Here eta dash is equal to eta times of EDA T minus 1 plus epsilon. EDA T minus 1 is equal to gamma times of EDA T minus 2 plus 1 minus gamma times of G T minus 1 square. So what that means is, let's suppose, okay, let me write that again. EDA T minus 1 equal to gamma times of EDA T minus 2 plus 1 minus gamma time of EG T minus 1 whole square. So let us suppose our gamma is 0.99, right? So we have EDA T minus 1, which would be equal to 0.01 of G T minus 1 square plus 0.99 of EDA T minus 2. So if we replace this EDA T minus 2 with this equation again, we will have 0.01 of G T minus 1 square plus 0.99 of, so what will be this again? This will bring down to 0.01 of Gt minus 2 square plus 0.99 of EDA T minus 3. So this will be equal to 0.01 of Gt minus 1 square plus 0.99 into 0.01 of Gt minus 2 square plus 0.99 square of EDA T minus 3. So what is happening is, for this present weight we are given for this present, so what is happening is for this present gradient, we are giving this a weight of 0.01. For the gradient before that, we are reducing the weight to 0.99 of 0.01. And for the one that will be before that, it will keep on reducing and on and on. So in one sense, this is kind of like momentum term that we came across. And EDA is also known as exponential dying average. So in one way, this is quite similar to the momentum. Since we are not taking the squares of all the gradients, but since we are just not simply adding the squares of the gradients, we are giving them weightage. What happens is, our denominator term will not increase very fast. Since our denominator will not increase very fast, the eta dash, that is the learning rate, will not decrease very quickly, and hence we will not come across the problem that our weights will become equal and we will never be able to reach the minimum loss. So that will not be one problem. Okay. So now let us come across the next idea, ADAM. So ADAM is the most used optimizer. So ADAM stands for Adaptive Moment Estimation. So the main idea behind ADAM is, if you will look back, you will see in ADA delta, what we were using for EDA was gradient squares. Again, if you will look into ADA grad, we were again using gradient squares. So what Adam came up with was, instead of using so what Adam came across was, along with using gradient squares, we will also use So what Adam came across was, along with using gradient squares, we will also use gradient. That means instead of doing that EDA of just the gradient square, we will also do EDA for gradients. Now these are the equations for Adam. So this is beta 1 mt minus 1 plus 1 minus beta of gt. Now this is quite similar to here, this equation for ADA delta. So this is basically the EDA or kind of a momentum term for MT. Here Vt is also again equal to the same thing. This was beta 1, beta 2, g squared t. So the thing is, if you will see, there is one momentum kind of term for gradient and one for gradient square. So m dash t will be equal to mt by 1 minus beta 1 at time t or iteration t, and vt hat will be equal to vt by 1 minus beta 2 at iteration t. So this will bring it down to now the final equation, wt equal to wt minus 1 minus alpha times of mt hat by square root of vt hat plus epsilon. Now if you will see the equation, this is very similar, the structure is very similar to SGD or ADA delta or ADA the structure is very similar to SGD or ADA grad or ADA delta. Everything is the same. Here, instead of using just the momentum for GT square or just the momentum for GT, we are using both these. So Adam has been proven to be a best method. Adam has been proven to be a very good method. It is used in most of the cases. Now let us look into which optimizer to use when. Some general rules. So if you have sparse data, like data from bag of words, in that case, go for ADA functions. Any ADA function can work. That means ADA delta, ADA grad, Adam, anything. But it is most likely that to use Adam. So let us look at some general rules for using these optimizers. Well, the first thing is we should use Adam most of the time. So Adam is very versatile, it converges faster, and we should use this most of the time in most of the cases. For any data that is sparse, that means something like bag of words or something, we should go for ADA functions. So we can use AdaDelta or AdaGrad or Adam. So nowadays SGD is being used a lot, but depends upon the problem from problem. The problem statement might be different. But in short, try using Adam for most of the cases. Now I have covered some of the most famous and popular optimizers. To get a very good idea or to know more in details about more optimizers, I suggest you to check out this very brilliant blog by Sebastian Ruder. He is one of the researchers of Google's DeepMind, and he has explained everything in details. He has added also some of the other most used optimizers like Adamax, Nadum, ADMS Grad, and SUB. So I would suggest to go through this blog. I will give you the link here, maybe somewhere, and you can check it out. So thank you for watching the video and keep learning.